On this week's Most Craved.
It's that time again.
Comic-Con 2015.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Most Craved. I'm Jenna Bush with Legion of Leia.
I'm Silas Lesnick with ComingSoon.net.
And I'm Whitney Seibold from Crave Online.
So we're talking about Comic-Con.
There it is. It's coming up in
only
early
a week
July.
away.
Oh God, it's really early this year. It comes right after the 4th of July holiday. Yeah, I'm not ready.
This takes a lot of preparation. You have
does.
to get comfortable shoes. You're going to be on your feet a lot.
Bunny slippers.
If you're going to go in cosplay, go as the version of that character who wears comfortable shoes.
I like how you think. That's good planning. So a lot of movie studios will not be there this year. Marvel will be there with their TV stuff, but not with their movie stuff. So what are you guys looking forward to most?
I gotta say, overall, I'm not a fan of Comic-Con anymore.
It's difficult
such,
when you have to work. It's a very difficult
really
time.
hard,
Yeah.
and it sounds terrible complaining about like something that's fun for a lot of people, but it is so much work, and they are terrible with access, and it's a very, very stressful time. I'm actually kind of happy
insight.
it's a bit quieter this year.
Yeah.
I think the first thing that's like kicking things off that's kind of interesting is Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I think that's cool is just because the people involved in the movie, the cast and crew, they stopped making it, at least the cast, some time ago. So it's sort of nice to have them come back together. They're going to be together again for the premiere and whatnot, but it is sort of likely going to be a look back at the franchise.
Sort of like a reunion before the movie even comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys know I'm a huge fan of that series, so I'm really excited for that. I don't know if I'll be seeing any panels in Hall H because when we're all working, we're usually in different press rooms, so we can't stay in line. Like the line that's going to be there for Star Wars, which I really want to see.
They're going to be showing new footage from the new movie, yeah?
I hope so.
I honestly,
sad.
I was thinking about it.
It's kind of like it's the way they operate. It's like, here we're going to show you 5 minutes here and there, and by the time the movie comes out, you can construct maybe 15 minutes of film.
wanna see it.
Sometimes it's detrimental though. I actually really like Tron Legacy, but I remember seeing the first 30 minutes of Tron Legacy probably 5 or 6 times before I actually saw the
Yeah,
film. So while it would be cool to see new Star Wars stuff, if I end up missing that panel, I kind of like the idea of there having been Star Wars stuff out there that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, and they'll release it eventually online, I'm sure. But I think with Star Wars, though, they've actually been really good about not, like, we keep seeing things, but we don't really know that much, which I actually really like.
And that's J.J. Abrams' bread and butter. This is the best part of the movie for J.J. Abrams, right before it comes out and not telling anybody anything.
So excited.
So it'll be really exciting to finally see the movie and actually see the whole movie.
yeah, I think they've been doing a great job of keeping things sort of secret.
I think so, too. It's really heavy on TV this year.
Well, the movie studios moved out. They kind
Yeah.
of have to be.
Yeah, which, I don't know, I actually find a little bit more interesting because you're not showing part of 2.5 hours, you're showing often part of 22 hours.
Or here's a cool
a whole-
scene from the pilot episode, or here's the entire
whole
pilot
pilot,
episode.
Yeah.
I do think there's a lot more leeway, and it's also these are people that are in an ongoing process. So even if they've shot the first episode, they're going to be going back and shooting more, and it's still evolving. TV people
there-
often have a lot to say in the panels.
Are there any pilots you're looking forward to seeing?
I
know they're premiering Supergirl, and I know a lot of people aren't looking forward to that.
I would like to see it because you saw it and liked it.
I loved
So
it.
All right.
then I'm in. I usually agree with you on stuff like that. So yeah, they're doing a Doctor Who panel, which though I did not like last season.
I loved last season. I thought last season was the
Liked
best
it.
modern Doctor Who season there has been.
Well, it's a weird thing because I love the Doctor. I loved Clara this year, but I didn't like the stories this year. But I'm still excited to see that.
I am too, and especially because that's another thing that, like, presumably they've been shooting for a while. They're getting ready for a season. There's theoretically an awful lot they could show, and who knows what direction they're going to be going in.
Yeah, I'm excited for.
I imagine for this season finale, the universe is going to be in peril, and the Doctor will save it at the last minute.
I don't know why you would think that.
What a strange idea.
Yeah, they're doing Game of Thrones, which would be a really interesting panel to be in.
The trouble with Game of Thrones is that's sort of the reverse problem. And they're not working on it right now. The cast doesn't really necessarily know what's going on. With,
Doesn't mean it's going to be any less popular.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you want to go to any of the panels before Game of Thrones, good luck. You're not
Yeah.
going to get into the hall because all
Yeah.
the Game of Thrones people are going to go in there, they're going to camp out, and you're going to hate Game of Thrones as a result because you can't get into like the smaller panel beforehand. Because I want to see the panel for Thunderbirds Are Go.
I
The new
would go to that
Thunderbirds
panel.
movie.
I think you'll be okay.
Well, yeah,
on that
what
one.
a
think you might
workshop is
be.
putting this together, but if Hunger Games is right after it, I'm not going to see Thunderbirds Are Go.
Oh, that is sad.
I want to see my new version of a kitschy children's British TV series from the 60s. I'm not going to be able to see it.
There's a couple studios that are going to be there. Universal doesn't seem to be there, but Legendary is there,
Yeah.
and Legendary puts on a good show.
Yeah.
I mean, they did the Godzilla teaser with the Oppenheimer dialogue, which I think to this day has still not been officially released, and is a wonderful teaser trailer.
Yeah.
They have Kong coming up, which I guess just lost J.K. Simmons and Michael Keaton, but.
We'll
is
see.
sad.
Still more King Kong.
I like the idea of Legendary is building this potential universe. They have Godzilla, Pacific Rim, and
now King Kong.
King Kong.
Give me giant monsters. I love giant monsters.
And then Warner Brothers always they seem to. Who knows how they will top their screen that becomes many screens this year, because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they show. I mean, it's obviously they'll show some Suicide Squad. They'll show Batman v
might-
Superman.
They can't possibly announce any more superhero movies. Aren't there, what, 25 in the next 3 years?
I
78.
think we could see
yeah.
some. They've obviously redesigned their approach, because we just heard this week that some of the titles are going to New Line, and Shazam is now a New Line film.
Yeah.
So Shazam's being treated more like a Vertigo title than the DC universe proper. I think at the very least we're probably going to find out a little more about what the direction of the franchise is going to be.
Yeah, and I think for people going to Comic-Con for the first time, first of all, please wear deodorant. Just please. But second, there are a lot of smaller panels that are really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can't get into Hall H or Ballroom 20.
Honestly, the stuff that I really, really love about Comic-Con, and it's changed. This is my 7th year covering, and I feel like my priorities there have shifted completely. But I kind of like the Artist's Alley and the smaller, I love
the
that
stuff
it's a
that's
place,
actually about comics.
not even
Imagine
necessarily
that.
comics. If there's somebody that is there and they just want to play this game with some weird board game that they found a room somewhere in the convention, and they're sitting there and they're playing with people who they've talked to online, but they only really get to see once a year. That's what Comic-Con, that's what makes
Yeah.
it really great. Standing in line for exclusives makes me depressed as a
Yeah.
fan. It's so sad for me to think that there are people that and I'm a collector. There's things that I would love to buy. The idea of going to this event and then just spending the entire time standing in line to maybe be able to pay for something
Or
is,
talk to a celebrity for 30 seconds before you get to move on.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. There's so many great panels devoted to comics and comic book artists, people who are really talented and really know their craft. Check out Alison Bechdel. Try to find the Seth panel. These really well-known people in the comic book world, they're going to have the more interesting things to say. You go to see the big movie studios, that's all publicity. It's all stuff that's going to be released online in a week. You don't get to talk to Alison Bechdel online. So that's always the more fun part for me as well.
You can come see my
then-
panels.
Also, Jenna Bush is on panels. Those are going to be the best ones.
Thank you.
Tell every panel you're going to be on.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be on The Most Dangerous Women of Comic-Con, which is my favorite title for anything ever, on Thursday at 5. Psychology of Cult TV, Thursday at 8. The Evolution of the Geek, Saturday at 6.
They
And
started out as single-celled organisms.
yes, we did. And The Science of Star Wars, I'm really, really excited about. That is at 8:30 on
There's no
Saturday.
There's no science in Star
No, but
Wars.
it's so cool because we have somebody from NASA who's coming
who
in
knows
to
all
talk
about midi-chlorians.
No. No, I refuse to accept midichlorians. But yeah, come see those.
You cannot have selective memory. It's all canon.
Totally can. Don't remember the prequels. What prequels? They don't exist. They don't. So we want to know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for specific panels? Are you going? If you are, come say hi.
Yeah, if you see us, come up and say hi, because we're probably just going to be very grumbly, angry, nerd people. But dude, just cheer us up, and we'll love to see you.
Look for the angriest people and just give us a hug, give us some nachos, ask how our shoes are,
Look for the girl in the bunny slippers.
and then come see Jenna Bush's panel.
Yes. Wow. All right, well, make sure you follow us on at Most Craved, and we will see you at the con.
And we'll actually be doing an episode down there. So
Yes, we will.
We'll see you next week.